All right, guys. Good morning. It's just after 4. I figured I'd show you my morning routine. I know that a lot of you guys got busy schedules. I got a busy schedule myself, but I still got to get my eating and my training in because that's a must. So figured I'd just show you guys how I do it. So let's get it. First thing in the morning when I wake up, I got 1.5 liters of water here. The first thing I do is take it down. Don't get enough water in. Start first thing in the day. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom. All right, let's get it. Time to make some breakfast. Everybody always wants to know what the pre-training meal is. Well, it's 4:30 a.m. Pre-training meal. It's gonna be a Portuguese roll, 6 whole eggs, and a couple pieces of bacon, and some fresh squeezed orange juice. Pop this in the toaster. Turn the stove on. Now, I try to be as efficient as I can be in the morning. I guess if I wanted to be ultra efficient and fast, I'd start the day with a shake. But I like having my first meal of the day be whole food. Right? Obviously, I could sit here and try to sell you guys on protein shakes and tell you to drink them 5 meals a day, but I'd have no credibility, and that's not my style. So, whole food it is. As much of a pain in the ass as it may be, that's what I believe in, and that's what I do. While the pan is heating up, now, certainly don't need to be juicing fresh orange juice, but let's be honest, that's so nice. And I mean, from start to finish, it's only going to take about a minute. Voila. Oh, look at that. I'm going to use the OJ to wash down, you guessed it. Good old Animal Pack. You know, I've been taking that stuff since I was 14 years old. Crazy, huh? At 14 years old, I definitely wouldn't have believed you if you told me I'd end up in a long-term relationship with the company. Funny how things work out. Heat this bacon up. So look, my goal 5 mornings a week is to begin training by 5 a.m. and to be done by 6 a.m. Listen, I know a lot of you guys out there watching, you're not professional athletes, okay? You don't have all the time in the world to dedicate to eating and training. And at this point in my life, neither do I, okay? But the lifestyle is still incredibly important to me. It's something I'll never give up. So I got to find a way to make it work. So here I am at 4:30 in the morning. All right. That is good. Right? That's how the saying goes, right? Is the juice worth the squeeze? That juice definitely is. And you know something? When it comes to getting up early to train and all that, is that juice worth the squeeze? Yeah, I think so. Because I'm going to tell you right now, to be done with all my stuff by 6 a.m. and I'll probably have my second meal in by 7:30. It's a good feeling, man. That takes a lot of pressure off for the rest of the day. Look at that. Breakfast is done. Would that take me 10 minutes? Yeah, a nice meal here. 6 eggs, some bacon, a roll, fresh orange juice in 10 minutes. Just need a little thinking ahead. I'd invite you to come sit and chat with me, although the goal right now is to get this meal down, so I don't know how much talking I'm gonna do, but come along. You know, a lot of times people will be like, dude, how do you get up that early? Or how do you wake up and pound 1.5 liters of water? Or how do you wake up and eat a full meal and, you know, start training at 5 a.m.? Guess what, dude? It's like anything else, right? It takes practice. You guys watching, think about all the things you do on a daily basis, the stuff you do in the gym. You didn't just get up one day and do it, right? You worked up to it. You practiced it. You wanted to do it. And you made it happen. And, you know, kind of acclimating your body to a different schedule, getting it adjusted to different things, it's no different. I mean, this is really the same concept, right? You guys might be thinking, there's not a lot of fat in one meal, right? I got 6 whole eggs, a couple pieces of bacon, but I don't know. I feel good eating this. It used to be that when I wake up in the morning, especially if I woke up early, I couldn't even think about food. But since I, you know, kind of acclimated to this and got accustomed to waking up early, training early, I'm hungry. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy because I'd make myself eat and I'd feel real nauseous. But it's at the point now, it's not a problem. And guys, it's like anything else. You got to just make yourself do it. You got to decide. I talk to people all the time and I say, well, you know, when I get done with work, sometimes I'm tired, I don't have time, I got to get home, I've got things going on at home, the kids, so on and so forth. Yeah, no shit. That's why I'm up at 4 a.m. because I know that if I leave it till the end of the day, it's not going to happen. All right, I'm making it so it's done, it's out of the way, and I can't fuck it up. So, I don't know. can either make excuses or you can make it happen, right? You're probably wondering, what are the macros for that meal that Evan's eating? To tell you the truth, I don't even know. If I had to guess, probably around 60 grams of protein. I don't know, 30 or 40 grams of fat, 50, 60 grams of carbs. So whatever that comes out to. But if there's a point that I can press upon you, the key thing here is by 5 a.m. I will have had my first meal. By 7:30 or 8, I will have had my second. That's the takeaway, right? That's the most significant thing, because whether I'm dieting to get in shape or I'm in an off season, I could have made those 2 meals whatever I wanted them to be to fit my needs. But the problem that most people face is just meal timing, getting those meals in, right? Not letting the day get away from you. So look, don't get too caught up on, okay, what were the macros of that? What were the calories and the macros of that meal? I don't know, man. Kind of what I'm having isn't really that important. It's about you getting a hold of something, a system that is going to fit your day to enable you to do all the things you have to do to make it all fit. And that's kind of the takeaway here. And that's the reason I wanted to film this video. Keep something in mind. Most people don't fail to reach their goals in the gym, or, kind of their bodybuilding goals, because they eat the wrong macros or because they do the wrong exercises. People typically fail to reach their bodybuilding goals because they don't have a system that works, meaning they miss meals. They don't food prep in a way that leaves them with a supply of food at all times when they need it. They don't get to the gym consistently because their day gets in the way. Bodybuilding success is about developing a system for eating, for training, and for following through on all the pieces of the puzzle that you need to be successful and to create progress. So that's a point that I can't impress strongly enough, I don't think, upon you guys, is you have to have a system that works. You need a routine, you need a regimen, you need efficiency, you need to think ahead. And that's the thing that's going to make it all work. All right. Meal number 1 is down. It's 4:58. I'm like a clock. All right, welcome to my basement. It's just after 5 a.m. I'm gonna train some arms today. Now, a lot of the training that I do nowadays, it's not exactly like it used to be. Meaning, I used to train as heavy as humanly possible, take massive, long rests in between sets. And at the time, for gaining as much size as I possibly could, so that I could be competitive on the most prestigious bodybuilding stages in the world. That's what I felt was necessary. Now that I've moved on from that, I've changed my training style a bit. And I got to be honest with you, I wish I knew then what I know now, because there's something to be said for maybe lightening up the weight a little bit. And combining movements, doing things like giant sets, more drop sets, kind of pushing the muscle harder without just adding weight, right? There's other ways to push the muscle. So I do think heavy weight is important, but I also think you cannot do that day in and day out, week in and week out. It starts to take a toll on the body. So I kind of wish that back then I sprinkled in more of kind of what I do now. So this morning being a good example, I'm going to train some arms, biceps and triceps. I've got about 45 minutes. Normally I'd be training by this time, but it took me a couple minutes to get the camera set up, kind of figure everything out. But, you know, let's talk about that because, you know, a lot of you guys, maybe you don't have a gym in your basement. Look, the 15 minutes that it just took me to get all this crap set up, probably could have drove to the gym. So one way or another, the whole point of all this is you want to try to avoid excuses, right? Because I'm guilty of it myself sometimes too, right? You start coming up with excuses why you didn't get this done or why you didn't accomplish that. I try to remind myself, winners make it happen, losers make excuses. Let's begin the workout. I'm going to train biceps first. In the order, I'm going to do dumbbell curls, I'm going to do barbell curls, and then plate curls. 3 free weight movements. Training in my basement. I have some machines, but you know, I don't have cables. I don't have any dedicated arm equipment. So the free weights it is. Oh, let's get it done. One thing that you probably notice is that I'm not doing a ton of reps on any of these exercises because the sets are being done, the exercises are being done so close together, and the sets are being done with fairly minimal rest. So even though I'm not using a ton of weight, whew, it gets heavy fast. And the advantage, you know, someone might say, well, I noticed you just did that barbell curl. I only did like, I don't know what I got, 6 or 8 reps. I only have quarters on there. But if I put 45s on each side and I only do 6 to 8, the feeling is going to be totally different. Because I'm doing this in a sequence with other movements, the burn that I'm getting in the muscle is very, very different. I could put a plate on each side and it would be heavy. I wouldn't feel a whole lot in the muscle. And I'm not saying that's not valuable, because when it comes to building strength, and strength is very important, even in bodybuilding, you're not always gonna get that crazy burn or pump. I guess essentially what I'm trying to tell you guys is you need both. Don't be afraid to mix it up. If this isn't something you guys normally do, you should really give it a try. Oh, and for everybody out there who struggles with water intake, it's another advantage to getting up early. I'm already on my second bottle, right? So I've already taken down 1.5 liters plus whatever was in the orange juice that I drank. So probably by 9 a.m. I'll already have had 3 liters of water. All right, biceps are done. It took me, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Whew. And for those of you who might be asking yourselves or wondering, I kept the weight the same on all the movements throughout. So I started with 50-pound dumbbell curls. I finished with 50-pound dumbbell curls. I started with quarters on the bar and ended with quarters on the bar. And I did plate hammer curls with a 45-pound plate. The only thing that changed is as the sets went on, the weight felt increasingly heavier and the reps naturally decreased. Now I'm going to move on to triceps. To bridge between triceps and biceps, I'm going to do a few sets of dips. It's kind of a nice way to transition. All right, time for some dips. If you don't do dips, they're an exercise you definitely might want to think about adding. I do them all the time. Obviously, I'm training in my basement, so I have limited equipment. So I have to be maybe a little more creative than someone who goes to a gym where there's, you know, such a plethora of equipment. So I find myself doing dips for chest. I do them for triceps. I'm gonna do them on shoulder day. So I'm doing them kind of throughout the week. And they're really just a great upper body movement in general. I remember when I first started training in my basement when I was 15 years old, the bench that I had, the posts, you could take them out and move them in and drop them in narrower slots, and they had handles off the back, and you could do dips off the back of the bench. And I did a lot of dips. And it really helped me to build my upper body in totality. Everything, chest, shoulders, arms. It's a great movement. So when I'm going from biceps to triceps, I'll do dips to kind of warm the triceps up. But because it's a compound movement, I'm still using other muscle groups, of course, as well. And then I'll move on to more isolated stuff. I'm actually going to set this up to do some supersets to lead off with, because when it comes to doing skull crushers, because the way my rack is set up, it's hard to do other stuff with it. So I'm going to superset dips with some, well, it's easier to show you. They're kind of like my version of rope extensions. And then I'm going to superset skull crushers with, just kind of like a modified form of dips. So check this out. Because I don't have cables, I use these straps that I made. Set them up on the bar, center them, and do body weight extensions with it. Ooh. Very different from cables, but whew, they fry your triceps, dude. All right, that's 4 rounds of that superset. The dips with the modified rope extensions. As for time, it's almost 6 a.m. Normally, I'd probably be about 15 minutes ahead of this. Kind of was setting everything up this morning, and all the talking I've been doing, it's kind of set me back a little bit. What I'm gonna do is skull crushers with a really narrow grip, kind of like a modified push-up that I'm gonna do off of the back side of this bench. As you can see, I like to freestyle. I pretty much make things up as I go along. Some people would be totally against that. Everything has to be spelled out and written down and then recorded in a logbook. I never did any of that in my career, for better or for worse. I'm not saying you should do it or you shouldn't do it, but that's just what I've done. All right, it's now 6:17 a.m. Workout is a wrap. All right, so we did biceps and triceps. For biceps, it was giant set training, dumbbell curls, barbell curls, plate, hammer curls. So simple. 4 rounds of each. On each exercise, the reps, well, on the first sets when I was fresh, the rep range was significantly higher. And of course, as the sets went on, fatigue set in and those reps dropped significantly. I think by the end on barbell curls, I was getting 4 reps. So 4 rounds of those, my biceps were smoked. Moved on to triceps. And I began with a combination of dips and kind of rope extensions that I modified to make it work in my basement because I don't have any cables. After that, barbell skull crushers, superset with a close grip, kind of modified push-up that I do off of the bench. My arms are pumped, my arms are smoked. Got that done in just under an hour. Like I said, it's 6:15. I've got 1 meal in the tank. Workout's done. I'm gonna head upstairs and shower, get dressed, hop in my car, and on my way to work, I will down my second meal. So let's get on with the show. All right, just after 6:30 a.m., I'm gonna shower quick. I don't require a whole lot of grooming. The goal is to get this done, pack all my food for the day, and be out the door sometime just after 7 a.m. So get this done quick. That's good. All nice and clean. I'm gonna do my thing. I'll meet you guys downstairs. All right, it's now 7:15. I'm gonna pack my stuff. I've got 3 meals for the day. This is my next meal, what I'll consider my post-workout meal. It's 8 ounces of chicken breast, some veggies, and an apple. The next 2 meals of the day are gonna be chicken breast and veggies, same as this meal. The only difference is I'll probably have a few rice cakes with one of those meals and 1/3 of a cup of nuts with another one. And at some point in the day, I will squeak in a serving of animal meal. I keep it in the office because it's not uncommon where I'll have back-to-back meetings. I need to throw something down quick. So I'm gonna pack this stuff up. I'm gonna eat this as I drive. So essentially what we're gonna be looking at here is, oh, and I finished another bottle of water. So it's 7:15 a.m. I've eaten a meal, I've trained, I've drank 3 liters of water, showered. By 7:30 a.m. I will have had my second meal as well. So really guys, the takeaway here, there's truth to the saying, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I'm in 100% agreement with that. However, nobody wants to start off on the wrong foot, start off behind, and then spend the day playing catch up. When you wake up in the morning, hydrate. Get up early enough so that you can get your eating in, so you can get your training in if you know that you're not gonna maybe make it there later in the day. Do what you've gotta do. I firmly believe that starting the day right, taking the opportunity to get ahead, just takes a lot of stress off, and it really increases the odds that you're going to do all the things that you set out to do. The reality is, most people don't fail because they don't know the right exercises or because they don't know the right foods to eat. A lot of us know pretty much what it is that we should be doing. We fail because we don't plan properly. We don't have a system in place that has our food where we need it, when we need it. We set ourselves up to fail because we leave our training to the last minute. Maybe we leave it to a time of day when we know the gym is too crowded, or we know that obligations at work or with our family, it's gonna keep us from getting there. So I don't know how better to say it than to say losers make excuses, winners make it happen. You've gotta realize where you're falling short and find a way around it and say, okay, here's where I'm failing and this is what I'm gonna do to prevent that. For me, okay, speaking from experience, and I know myself, I have to get off on the right foot each day. I've got to get up early. I don't like getting up early. Okay, it sucks. Okay, when 4 a.m. when my alarm goes off, I have every fiber of my being saying, no, dude, stay put. Oh, this bed's comfy. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Don't play that game. Get up early, get it done. I know that that's what I have to do, and that's the only way that I keep it going. So I hope you guys found this helpful. And as always, subscribe if you like the video, share it, comment below, stay tuned for more. Love you guys. See you soon.